Hey, it's Foto Fix Friday, number 4, and today we're going to be making some adjustments using Lightroom, and this is a shot that I took of Whitby Abbey. Fantastic place. I strongly recommend you heading down there if you fancy a trip out. Just doing my usual adjustments here, so applying the camera lens adjustment settings, also making sure I've got the verticals straight, and I'm going to apply actually a colour profile at the beginning as well here. There are a whole lot of built-in ones in Adobe Lightroom, but also your camera may come with some built-in ones. I shoot in Fuji and I love their simulations, Provia particularly being one of my favourites. So I've applied that. Also going to just do the auto settings on everything. And you can see that works really nicely actually, but unfortunately we lose some detail in the sky, as you can see in the before and after, but it really brings out the stonework on the cathedral itself. So the first thing we need to fix is actually to make sure we get some of that detail back in the sky. So one of the lovely things in Lightroom is you can quickly apply a mask and tell it to actually look for the sky. So go up to the mask setting, as you can see there, click on sky, and it will automatically select it for you. There we are, that's it all selected in the pink. It does a pretty good job, as you can see. Unfortunately, it's missed one or two pieces, not surprisingly, that are hidden in amongst the kind of stonework of the cathedral itself. So you just click the add button and then slowly go around with your tablet and pen if you have one, if not with your mouse, and add these parts in. If you go over the edges, and you can just click on subtract to remove them, and then go back, select add again, use the brush and slowly paint in the bits that are missing, and work your way all through the image that you have until you end up with them all selected. Then at this point you can then start to make some adjustments. Now there are lots of different ways to do that with the sky. Today basically I'm just going to use some of the standard settings that are in the basic adjustments. So we can adjust the temperature and also the tint of the sky, and you can see it changing there. Really this is trial and error. You work your way through the various adjustments until you get something that you're happy with. A great one actually to go down to and use though is the HSL colour settings, and here you can adjust hue, saturation and luminance. First of all, I like to work on the saturation, so I'll select the saturation panel, pop down here and look at adjusting the blues and the aquas. Again, just making the sliders move across until you see the sky starting to come back out again. Interesting to notice as well actually that Lightroom's clever enough to realise that you have some reflections on the water, so that's part of the mask, and you'll see the water reflections colour adjusting as you adjust the sky also, so you get that real balance and it looks natural, not showing a lovely blue sky and a really grey water. So that's a nice feature of this AI aspect, I suppose it is, within Lightroom. And again, you just work away. I've moved back up into the general settings here, making some adjustments with highlights and contrast, also in terms of shadows and white and black settings. And you just make gentle, small adjustments until you've got something you're happy with. And for me, I think that's beginning to look really quite dramatic. You've got nice sky there, the cathedral standing out really well against it, great reflections. But obviously, as you can see, I've got a number of dust marks. Some of these are on the lens, some of them are on the sensor itself. So they have to be dealt with, that's the next thing. So you move into your settings and select the heal tool, and you can adjust the hardness of the brush, give it a bit of a feather if you want. I like to keep it fairly hard so you get quite good edges, particularly with these dots, but something around about, you know, a 20, something like that, and then adjust the size just to go over them. Click on it, and then Lightroom will suggest to you where you should draw the correction from. You can go with that, or you can move it to something that you're more comfortable with. Again, Lightroom tends to make a really excellent choice with all of this. The AI and that's artificial intelligence that makes these selections in these programs now is becoming better and better, and it's quite incredible what it can do for you and allow you really just to concentrate on getting the look right rather than having to worry too much about actually getting the finite adjustments that you want to have. So again, you have to work your way through the image. If you're fortunate enough not to have many of these dust spots, that's brilliant. But if you have a lot like I do, it can take a wee bit of a time. Unfortunately, this is a nasty one right up against the stonework here. To be honest, these can be really difficult to deal with. So in this occasion, I'm actually going to apply another mask. As you can see, I'm just starting to build up here. Because I want to first of all make this as minimal as I can before applying some of the healing brushes and the healing settings to it. So apply the mask, select the area, and then going into the heal and brush settings just to start applying them to the mask. So first of all, I'm going to go and use reduce you can see I can turn it on and off to see what I'm doing there. And so I want to go in and adjust the exposure. Also, I'm going to bring the contrast down, bring the shadows up, taking the highlights up as well, adjust the black and the white as well, and just to really see that horrible spot beginning to move away. Once I'm happy with that, I'll then move into the spot healing tools. I've kind of talked myself a bit quickly forward with that, but you can see the adjustments being made. It's also useful to try adjusting the temperature, maybe the tint as well, just so as it starts to fade much more into the background. There we are, it's beginning to disappear now, although it's still there, and when you zoom out you'll see it as well, but it's much greatly reduced from what it was. So having done that, got to the point that I'm fairly happy with it. Just final adjustments with the mask here. And then I'm just about to deal with the contrast once more, a wee bit more, working the exposure. As I can say, as you can see, these are nasty, nasty things to deal with. Really should encourage me to get that sensor cleaned, and then that's going to reduce the amount of work that I have for me. So let that be something to bear in mind for you all going forward. So I think that's good enough. Yep, let's then turn the mask off. Just a button, move it around slightly just to get it in a perfect position. Then back up using the heal tool now. Adjusting the brush size. You can adjust the feather as well. I don't want too much of a feather. Let's just take this down the side and start to deal with the what's left of that horrible mark. Oh, you can see Lightroom's not done a great job there selecting where it thinks it's going to improve from. So sometimes the AI isn't just perfect, but that's probably because there was an edge of the stonework was selected. But there you can see just by making that adjustment, it's really starting to make a difference now again. Still a bit of an issue there, so we'll try coming in with this eraser tool, and again you can just slide in there and you can start to see how it's been removed. Almost all gone now. One more adjustment to make. I'm going to try the stamp tool. We can bring the stamp tool down the side of where we've already made the adjustment, just up the side there, taking in a little bit of the stonework because that'll give us an edge to put this adjustment in beside. It's alright if it fades in beside each other. It can just slip in there like that and just make the adjustment, get it the way you want it. A wee adjustment to the opacity and the feathering, and this time when we close down this panel we should see we've pretty much got rid of that horrible mark. Still a wee bit there, that could maybe be adjusted, and that's something I would come back to, just make a final readjustment to, hopefully trying to remove the final part of it. A few more adjustments, just adjust the opacity levels again on the adjustments we've already made with the stamp tool, and this time just the feathering as well. We're going to close it down there. It's looking good now. It's more or less totally disappeared into the background. Let's zoom back out again, and there we have our finished shot. Looking, I hope you agree, really pretty stunning from what it was to begin with. And there we have Whitby Abbey. I've really enjoyed doing this Friday photo fix on Lightroom and look forward to doing next week's. Thanks, and see you again.